I got arrested after my wife struck me. She told police I hit her first. I spent 3 days in jail. Then I cleared my name by showing them our home security footage. When police arrived to arrest her instead, original post 38 mail, am sitting in my brother's spare bedroom typing this, still trying to process that my life imploded 4 days ago over a burnt casserole. Yeah, you read that right. A burnt casserole started the chain of events that landed me in county jail for 72 hours and ended my marriage. My wife, 36, and I have been married for 11 years. No kids, she kept saying next year until I stopped asking. Looking back, that should have been red flag number 1 of about 100 I ignored. Thursday night, I got home from work around 7 p.m. Long day, big project deadline. The house smelled like something died in the oven. She'd attempted to make her grandmother's famous casserole. Attempted being the key word. "Hey babe, something burning?" I asked, setting my laptop bag down. She was already 3 glasses deep into a wine bottle. "It's ruined. 3 hours of work. Ruined." "It's okay. We can order pizza or something." Of course you'd say that. You don't care about anything I do. You probably think it's funny. I was exhausted. Nobody thinks it's funny. It happens. Let's just order food and... That's when she threw the wine glass. Not at the wall, not at the floor. At my head. It missed by inches and shattered against the kitchen cabinet. "What the hell?" I shouted. "You're so ungrateful. I try to do something nice and you mock me." "I didn't mock anyone." "You're drunk and now you're throwing things?" She picked up the casserole dish. The burnt, still smoking casserole dish. "Maybe you'll care about this." She hurled it at me. Hot ceramic and burnt food everywhere. It hit my shoulder and arm. First-degree burns, I'd find out later. But in the moment, I just reacted. I grabbed her wrists to stop her from grabbing anything else. "Stop! Just stop!" She started screaming. Not regular screaming, the kind that makes neighbors call 911. "Get off me! You're hurting me! Help!" I let go immediately, hands up, backing away. "I'm not touching you. Stop screaming." She grabbed her phone, and I swear I saw the switch flip in her eyes. From rage to calculation. "Hello, 911? My husband is attacking me. Please help. He hit me." My blood went cold. "What? I didn't..." She was crying now. Full waterworks. "Please hurry, I'm scared." I stood there like an idiot, covered in casserole, shoulder burning, watching my wife of 11 years lie to the police. Should have started recording. Should have done something. But I just stood there in shock. Cops showed up in 8 minutes. 2 officers. They took one look at the scene. Broken glass, food everywhere. Her crying with slightly red wrists from where I'd grabbed them to stop her assault, and me, 6'2", 200 pounds covered in food. "Sir, step outside please." "Officers," she threw. "Sir, step outside. Now." The male officer cuffed me while the female officer talked to my wife inside. I tried explaining. The wine glass, the casserole, the burns on my arm, didn't matter. "She says you grabbed her and threw her against the wall." "That's not true. Check my arm. I have burns from where she..." "Sir, you need to calm down." "Calm down? My wife just lied to get me arrested and I need to calm down." They arrested me. Domestic violence charges. Hauled me to county in the back of a patrol car while my neighbors watched from their windows. Most humiliating moment of my life. So far. Update 1, posted 5 days later. The 3 days in county were hell. Pure hell. First, the booking. Strip search, fingerprints, mugshot that would end up online forever. The officer doing intake looked at my burns and said, "You should have thought about that before putting hands on your wife." I got one phone call, called my brother. He couldn't believe it. "She said you hit her? That's insane. You won't even kill spiders." "I need you to call my lawyer. The business card is in my desk drawer." Got a public defender initially since my lawyer couldn't come until Monday. Kid looked about 12, told me to plead guilty to a lesser charge, take anger management, and move on. I didn't do anything wrong. That's what they all say. The other inmates were actually more understanding than the guards. One guy, in for his 3rd DUI, laughed when I told him why I was there. "Let me guess. She hit you, you tried to stop her, and somehow you're the bad guy?" "Exactly." "Brother, welcome to the system. Hope you got cameras." Cameras. My brain lit up. We installed a security system 2 years ago after a break-in down the street. Full coverage, audio and video, kitchen included. Monday morning, my actual lawyer showed up. Good guy, handled my business contracts. Not a criminal lawyer, but he knew someone. I have security cameras, with audio, the whole thing should be recorded. His eyes lit up. Where's the footage? Cloud backup, I can access it from my phone. It's a Vizablev which they confiscated. I'm on it. The arraignment was Tuesday afternoon. The prosecutor, the smug woman who looked at me like I was dirt, read the charges. Assault, domestic violence, battery. My wife was there, playing victim perfectly. Even had a neck brace. A neck brace. For the assault that never happened. My new criminal lawyer, cost me $5 retainer, stood up. Your Honor, we have video evidence that completely contradicts the alleged victim's statement. The judge raised an eyebrow. Video evidence? Security footage with audio from the defendant's home shows the alleged victim assaulting my client, not the other way around. The prosecutor scrambled. We haven't seen this evidence, because you didn't ask for it. You just assumed my client was guilty. The judge reviewed the footage on a laptop. I watched his expression change from skeptical to shocked to angry. The video showed everything. Her throwing the wine glass, her screaming, her throwing the hot casserole at me backing away with my hands up after briefly holding her wrists to stop the assault, her calmly getting her phone and manufacturing tears. Prosecutor, have you seen this? No, Your Honor. I suggest you watch it, now. Case dismissed, all charges dropped. He looked at my wife. Ma'am, you may want to retain counsel. She went pale. The neck brace suddenly seemed to be bothering her less, but here's where the entitlement really kicked in. As we're leaving the courthouse, she comes up to me, in front of the lawyer. Baby, let's just go home and forget this happened. I was drunk, I didn't mean. Are you serious right now? You're not gonna let them arrest me, are you? Your wife? Over a misunderstanding? My lawyer stepped between us. Ma'am, I suggest you stop talking. This is between me and my husband. Your husband who you falsely accused of assault? That husband? She turned to me, tears starting. You can't let them arrest me. What would people think? My job, my reputation. Your reputation? I spent 3 days in jail, 3 days with actual criminals because you lied. I was upset. The casserole was ruined and you didn't care and that justifies telling the police I attacked you? Her whole demeanor changed. The tears stopped. Fine. You want to be like this? I want a divorce, and I'm taking everything. The house, the cars, everything. My lawyer actually laughed. Ma'am, you just committed a felony on camera. You might want to focus on staying out of prison instead of divorce settlements. The detective handling my case called that afternoon. They'd reviewed the footage and were issuing a warrant for my wife's arrest. Filing a false police report, assault with a weapon, the casserole dish, domestic violence. We can pick her up today, or you can have her turn herself in tomorrow with her lawyer. I thought about it. 3 days I sat in jail. 3 days of being treated like a woman beater. 3 days of guards making snide comments about another wife beater claiming innocence. Pick her up today. Update 2, posted 1 week later. Oh man, the entitlement escalated to levels I didn't know existed. So the police went to arrest my wife at her job. Yeah, her job at a non-profit that advocates for domestic violence victims. The irony is thick enough to cut with a knife. According to her coworker who texted me, we're friends from way back. It was a scene. 2 officers walked in asking for her. She apparently thought they were there for a donation or something. When they said she was under arrest, she laughed. For what? My husband is the one who attacked me. Ma'am, you're under arrest for filing a false police report in domestic violence. She went ballistic, started screaming about sexism, how men always get believed over women, how this was institutional misogyny. Her boss came out, saw the cops, and immediately went into damage control mode. There must be some mistake. She's a victim advocate. She's also someone who assaulted her husband and lied about it. We have video evidence. They cuffed her in front of everyone. The nonprofit put her on immediate administrative leave. But wait, it gets better. She called me from jail. Called me. From jail. Collect. You need to drop these charges right now. I didn't press charges. The state did. After seeing the video of you assaulting me. This is ridiculous. I barely touched you. You threw a hot casserole dish at me. I have burns. Oh please, they're barely first degree. Stop being such a baby. Did she just minimize the assault she claimed never happened? The cognitive dissonance was incredible. You realize this call is being recorded, right? Silence. Then, you're gonna regret this. I'll tell everyone what you really are. What I really am. An abuser who manipulated the system. The projection was astounding. She hung up. Her mother called next. This woman, Lord, give me strength. How dare you have my daughter arrested? She assaulted me and lied to the police. She's a woman. Women can't assault men. You're twice her size. So size determines whether assault is okay? You're ruining her life over nothing. Nothing? She told the police I beat her. I went to jail. For 3 days. She's facing years in prison. Maybe she should have thought about that before lying to the cops. You're supposed to protect her. You're her husband. Protection doesn't include taking the fall for crimes I didn't commit. She called me every name in the book before hanging up. Then came the social media campaign. My wife, out on bail, decided to take to social media. Posted this long thing about how she was being persecuted for defending herself against an abusive husband who used his privilege to manipulate the system. Her friends rallied. The comments were insane. Men always find a way to play victim. The video was probably edited, standing with you against this injustice. My brother saw it and lost his mind. Posted the security footage on his page with the caption, "Since my sister-in-law wants to lie on social media too, here's the unedited truth." The video went locally viral. 50K views in 2 days. The comments flipped. She threw a hot dish at him and then called 911 and lied? This is why real victims don't get believed. Her nonprofit fired her. Can't have a domestic abuser working as a victim advocate. She tried to sue them for wrongful termination. Their lawyer basically laughed her out of the building. But the peak entitlement came during our divorce mediation. She came in with her lawyer wearing all black like she was at a funeral. Tried to look pitiful. Her lawyer started, "My client is willing to forgive the criminal charges situation if we can come to an equitable divorce arrangement." My lawyer, "Forgive? She's facing felony charges. That's not hers to forgive. She's lost her job, her reputation, due to her own actions." Her lawyer pulled out a list of demands. The house that I bought before marriage, alimony for loss of earning potential, half my business that I started before marriage, both cars, compensation for emotional distress. I actually laughed. Couldn't help it. My wife snapped, "This isn't funny. You've destroyed my life." I destroyed your life? You assaulted me, lied to police, got me arrested, and I destroyed your life? If you'd just been more understanding about the casserole. The casserole? You committed multiple felonies over a casserole. Her lawyer tried to maintain control. "Perhaps we can discuss." My lawyer cut him off. "Here's what's going to happen. She gets what she brought into the marriage, which is debt from her master's degree. The house is premarital property. The business is protected by the prenup she signed. She gets her car, which she's still making payments on. No alimony for domestic abusers. The prenup was signed under duress. It was signed 3 months before the wedding, with both parties represented by counsel. Good luck with that argument." My wife started crying. Real tears this time. "You're leaving me with nothing. You left me with a criminal record and trauma. We're not even close to even. I'm facing prison. Isn't that enough? You facing consequences for your actions isn't punishment enough for what you did to me. No." Her lawyer whispered something to her. She stood up. "This isn't over. When this goes to trial, everyone will see what kind of man you really are." Yet they already did. There's video, remember? Update 3, final update, posted 3 weeks later. The criminal trial was last week. Buckle up, because the entitlement reached its final form. My wife decided to represent herself for some reason. Fired her lawyer because he wouldn't argue that the video was taken out of context. How do you take assault out of context? But okay. She showed up to court in a wheelchair, with a neck brace, again, and dark sunglasses, like she was the victim of a 10-car pileup, not someone caught on camera throwing cookware. The prosecutor presented the case simply: video evidence of assault, audio evidence of false reporting, medical documentation of my burns, her recorded jail call admitting to the assault. Then my wife got to present her defense. This is where it went off the rails. She claimed, 1. The video was deep-faked by me using AI. 2. I had been psychologically abusing her for years. 3. The casserole incident was self-defense against future abuse. For the security system was installed to monitor and control her. Calling 911 was a cry for help, not a false report. The judge actually had to pause proceedings when she claimed the prosecution was part of a male supremacist conspiracy to silence women. "Ma'am, the video clearly shows you throwing objects at your husband. Objects he made me throw with his psychological manipulation. How does one make someone throw a casserole? You wouldn't understand unless you've been abused." The prosecutor played the jail call where she admitted to the assault and minimized my injuries. You could see the jury's faces change. Her closing argument was something else. She actually said, and I quote, "If you convict me, you're telling every woman in an abusive relationship that defending themselves is wrong." The prosecutor's response: "If we don't convict her, we're telling every person who lies about domestic violence that there are no consequences." Jury deliberated for 45 minutes, guilty on all charges. The sentencing was 2 weeks later. My wife's mother, sister, and 3 friends all wrote letters to the judge about what a wonderful person she was and how this was a miscarriage of justice. My wife gave a statement that, "Honestly, I can't even properly describe the delusion. I stand here as a victim twice over, once by my husband's manipulation, and once by a system that refuses to see female survivors as anything but perpetrators when they defend themselves. I threw that dish because I feared for my future safety. I called 911 because I needed help. And now I'm being punished for surviving." The judge's response was beautiful. "Ma'am, I've reviewed the evidence extensively. You were not defending yourself. You were not in danger. You assaulted your husband because you were angry about a burnt dinner. You then made a conscious decision to lie to police, resulting in his arrest and incarceration. You've shown zero remorse and continue to paint yourself as a victim. This is exactly the kind of behavior that makes it harder for actual abuse victims to be believed." The sentence: 2 years probation, 200 hours community service, anger management classes, and she has to pay restitution for my legal fees. She could have gotten up to 5 years in prison, so this was lenient. She screamed. Actually screamed in court, "This is persecution. I'm a woman. He's supposed to protect me, not destroy me." The judge: "Ma'am, one more outburst and I'll hold you in contempt. You're all in on it. The patriarchy wins again." That got her 30 days in jail for contempt. As for the divorce, it was finalized last week. She got her personal belongings, her car with the $12 she still owes on it, her student loan debt, $43,000, her retirement account, $810. I got the house, my business, peace of mind, a story for the ages. The aftermath has been interesting. Her nonprofit publicly distanced themselves from her, put out a statement about how they don't condone domestic violence in any form, and how her actions don't reflect their values. Her social media friends gradually went quiet as more details came out. Turns out, lying about domestic violence doesn't sit well even with people who initially supported her. My neighbors who saw me arrested that night have been apologetic. One of them said, "We heard the screaming and just assumed. I'm sorry, man. We should have known better." Her mother still calls occasionally, leaving voicemails about how I've ruined her daughter's life, and how she hopes I'm happy with myself. I am, actually. Thanks for asking. The wildest part? Last week I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. "Hi, this is wife's name. I know I'm not supposed to contact you, probation violation, lol, but I wanted you to know I'm in therapy now and I realize I may have overreacted to the casserole situation. Would you consider dropping the no contact order so we can talk about possibly reconciling? I forgive you for everything that's happened." She forgives me for holding her accountable for assault and false imprisonment. The delusion is strong with this one. I screenshot it and sent it to her probation officer. That's another violation. She's probably looking at actual jail time now. My brother summed it up best. She played a stupid game and won stupid prizes. All over a burnt casserole. I'm in therapy now, dealing with the trauma of being arrested, jailed, and gaslit by someone I loved. It's helping. Started dating again, cautiously. Actually went on a date last week where I awkwardly mentioned I have security cameras in my house. She laughed and said, "After what you went through, I'd have cameras in every room too." To any men reading this who've been through something similar, you're not alone. Document everything. Install cameras. Don't be afraid to press charges, and never ever stay with someone who uses the system as a weapon against you. To my ex-wife, if you're reading this and violating your probation again, yes, I'm happy with myself. I stood up to an abuser who happened to be my wife. The casserole wasn't the problem. Your reaction to it was. And your continued inability to take responsibility just proves the judge made the right call. Time to move on. Got a business to run, a house to enjoy, and a life to live. Without worrying about what might trigger the next assault. Oh, and I learned to make that casserole myself. It's really not that hard if you set a timer.